Gorilla decided to open a gym because Gorilla was strong, and strong felt like a business plan. On day one, before a single customer arrived, Gorilla stood in front of the bathroom mirror and wrote "New Gorilla" on it in dry erase marker, underlined twice, then circled. Then Gorilla stepped back and looked at it the way other species look at signed treaties. This was not a note. This was a covenant. Gorilla pictured the gym in his head. Rows of dumbbells, sunlight through big windows, people clapping when Gorilla walked in. For reasons Gorilla never fully specified even to himself. Gorilla imagined mirrors everywhere. Not for the customers, for Gorilla mostly. Passive income, Gorilla thought. People pay monthly. Gorilla flexes occasionally. Everyone goes home happy. Simple. Gorilla had never once used the word simple correctly in his life. But confidence doesn't require accuracy. Gorilla signed the lease. Gorilla bought the equipment. Gorilla bought a sign that said Iron Temple in a font so aggressive it looked personally offended by the concept of a rest day. Opening day arrived. 50 people signed up in one afternoon. Gorilla beat his chest. Not from stress this time, from joy. Gorilla did not yet know that joy and stress use the exact same gesture, the same drumbeat, the same ribs. The body doesn't editorialize. It just performs the emotion it's handed. Then January ended, the way January always ends. Quietly, and without warning anyone who mattered. By February, the 50 became 12. By March, the 12 became 4. One of the 4 was there for the free water. Gorilla stood in his empty gym at 7 p.m., surrounded by 30 motionless machines, and realized something horrifying. He wasn't running a fitness center. He was running a very expensive storage unit for treadmills that occasionally hosted humans. The treadmills just sat there, silent, judging in that specific way that gym equipment judges, without moving, without blinking, purely through posture. One of them displayed 12 o'clock on a permanent loop, blinking with the calm menace of a device that had given up counting anything meaningful. Gorilla nicknamed it the Ghost. Nobody ran on the Ghost. Gorilla eventually put up actual caution tape around it, like it was a crime scene, which financially it was. Then came the equipment repairs. A treadmill belt snapped. Gorilla called a technician. The technician quoted a number so large that Gorilla assumed it included a second treadmill, a small vacation, and possibly one of his kidneys, itemized separately. Gorilla paid it anyway, because a broken treadmill in a gym is like a missing tooth in a smile. Everyone notices. Nobody says anything. Everyone just quietly loses a little faith in the whole face. Rent didn't care about Gorilla's feelings. Electricity didn't care either. The air conditioning bill arrived looking like a ransom note, and honestly, read like one too. Gorilla sat at his desk with a calculator, adding expenses with the grim focus of a gorilla defusing a bomb he had personally built, wired, and signed a lease for. Membership fees trickled in. Expenses poured out. At some point, the math stopped being math. It became a leak Gorilla kept trying to patch using nothing but optimism and a rapidly aging dry erase marker. Then came the protein powder. Gorilla had ordered 40 tubs. Convinced supplements were where the real money lived. Nobody bought them. They stacked up in the back office, higher every week, until Gorilla was technically working inside a small protein powder pyramid, the kind of structure archaeologists would one day dig up and misinterpret entirely. Gorilla started using the tubs as a step stool. At least something in this business was finally load-bearing. Then came the January regulars, the ones who joined full of fire, wrote "New Me" on their water bottles in handwriting Gorilla recognized immediately, and vanished by week 3 like a seasonal migration nobody studies but everyone witnesses. Gorilla watched them go, every year. Same faces, same fire, same disappearing act, timed almost exactly to the first cold morning of February. Gorilla started calling them the migratory motivation species. They flock in every January, reborn, hopeful, holding a new water bottle like a passport. They leave every February. Nobody knows where they go. Some say they return next year, slightly older, bottle slightly different, hope identical. Gorilla tried to fix things. Gorilla hired a personal trainer to bring in energy. The personal trainer brought energy. The personal trainer also brought a salary Gorilla hadn't fully budgeted for. Discovered the way you discover a wasp. Suddenly, personally, and with immediate regret. Gorilla tried a loyalty punch card nobody asked for and nobody used, except one extremely committed man named Steve, who showed up every single day at 6 a.m. for reasons Gorilla still didn't understand, and who Gorilla was now unofficially financially dependent on. Steve did not know this. Steve just liked squats. Late one night, Gorilla sat alone in the gym, lights off except one, humming over the front desk like it too was tired. Mirrors reflected an empty room back at him from every angle, as if the universe had specifically arranged for Gorilla to see this failure in surround sound. Gorilla picked up a piece of bamboo, tried to eat it, couldn't taste it. The stress had gotten into his mouth the way it eventually gets into everything. The food, the sleep, the small quiet moments that used to belong to nobody but him. Gorilla beat his chest. Quieter this time, not celebration, release. The sound echoed off 30 unused treadmills, 40 stacked protein tubs, and one increasingly smug ghost machine, still blinking 12 in the dark like it had personally opted out of caring about time. Gorilla started noticing something. The gym wasn't failing because people didn't want to be strong. The gym was struggling because everyone wanted the result without the repetition. They wanted the body without the Tuesday. They wanted the finish line without the extremely boring middle part where nothing photogenic happens. And Gorilla realized, quietly, uncomfortably, somewhere between the protein pyramid and the ghost, that he had done the exact same thing. He'd wanted the gym owner's life, the mirrors, the applause, the passive income fantasy, without the invoices, without February, without a single Tuesday of actual maintenance. Gorilla sat with that for a long time. Then Gorilla did something small. Gorilla wiped down one treadmill. Just one. Not because a customer was coming, because it needed doing and nobody else was going to do it. And apparently that was the whole job description nobody had mentioned when Gorilla signed the lease. The next morning, 4 people showed up, then 6, then, slowly, more, not 50, not the fantasy number, just real people doing real reps at a real, unglamorous pace. One of them wrote, "New me" on a water bottle. Gorilla saw it, and this time didn't roll his eyes. He just nodded. He knew exactly how that story went, and he wasn't going to be the one to ruin it for them. Gorilla took a bite of bamboo. This time, he tasted it, not because the problems were gone, because Gorilla had finally stopped waiting for January to save him. Gorilla thought opening a gym meant building bodies. Turns out, it mostly meant rebuilding patience. One rep, one invoice, one quiet Tuesday at a time.